We like to believe that we are rational creatures. We think that when we make a decision, whether it is buying a car, choosing a career, or voting for a politician, we carefully weigh the facts and choose the most logical option. In 2002, a psychologist named Daniel Kahneman won the Nobel Prize in Economics for proving that this is a complete delusion. In his masterwork, Thinking Fast and Slow, Kahneman reveals that your brain is actually divided into two entirely different operating systems, and the one you think is in charge is actually asleep at the wheel most of the time. Kahneman calls these System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, intuitive, emotional, and completely automatic. It operates instantly and requires zero effort. It is the system that tells you 2 plus 2 equals 4, makes you jump when you hear a loud noise, or lets you drive home on a familiar route without thinking about it. System 2 is slow, deliberate, logical, and rational. It is the system you use to calculate 17 times 24, or to parallel park in a tight space. System 2 is who we think we are. It is the conscious, reasoning self. But here is the terrifying truth of the book. System 2 is incredibly lazy. It takes a massive amount of biological energy to run System 2, so your brain defaults to System 1 for 95% of your daily life. The problem is that System 1 is a machine for jumping to conclusions. It doesn't understand statistics, it is heavily influenced by emotions, and it relies on heuristics, mental shortcuts that often lead to disastrous biases. Let me give you the most famous example from the book, the bat and ball test. A bat and a ball together cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? When you hear that, System 1 instantly screams, 10 cents. It feels right, it sounds right, but it is entirely wrong. If the ball costs 10 cents and the bat is $1 more, the bat costs $1.10, making the total $1.20. The correct answer is that the ball costs 5 cents, and the bat costs $1.05. Over 80% of university students get this wrong on the first try. Their System 2 was simply too lazy to check the math of System 1. Because we rely so heavily on System 1, we are incredibly easy to manipulate. Marketers use the anchoring effect to show you a $1,000 watch first, so that the $300 watch next to it looks like a bargain. Politicians use availability heuristics to make you terrified of terrorism, even though statistically, you are vastly more likely to die in a car crash. We are terrified of losing $100 much more than we are excited to gain $100, a phenomenon called loss aversion that keeps us trapped in terrible jobs and bad relationships. Kahneman's book is not a guide to turning off System 1. That is biologically impossible. It is a manual for learning how to recognize the situations where your intuition is likely to betray you, so you can intentionally wake up System 2 before you make a fatal mistake.